Hi folks, it's Stuart from the Courtyard Cafe. Welcome back to the kitchen again. What I'm going to cook today is a wholesome, tasty recipe, a real family favourite of ours, which is a pasta bake. I'm going to be using my slow cooker today for this recipe. It's a really useful way of batch cooking. We always tell the students when we're working with them that catering is about being as economical as possible, making best use of the ingredients, and if you can make another batch which you can then put away in the freezer, you can then call on that when you maybe don't have time to cook and it's convenient to have something that's ready to eat. The liner of the slow cooker that I have goes straight onto the hob, and the first thing I'm going to do is brown the mince off. This is actually 750 grams of mince that I've got in the liner. So when that's made into the Béchamel sauce and mixed with the pasta and the cheese sauce, it's going to make probably about 3 meals in total for a couple of people. The mince is now browned off, and very quickly I'll add the other ingredients. I've got 3 large cloves of garlic. You can put as much or as little as you like, and 2 very large onions. Normally if you were cooking this in a pan you would work through softening the onions and so on, but since this is going into the slow cooker, it will do the cooking for me. About half a glass of red wine, dash of pepper, some mixed herbs, a beef stock pot, which just helps to enrich the flavour. And something else that makes the finished sauce nice and rich is some tomato puree, probably about a tablespoon of that. With that all quick mix through, then add 2 tins of chopped tomatoes. I am going to keep the liner of the slow cooker on the hob because I want to bring the mixture at least to the boil before I put it on the slow cooker. It would take probably an hour for the slow cooker because it operates at fairly low wattage to bring this amount of tomato and so on up to the boil. Set it down in, pop the lid on, and I'm going to let this cook on high for a couple of hours. At that stage I'll have a look at it, see what way it's cooking, and I may turn it down to low and let it cook out for a little while longer. In the saucepan I'm melting 60 grams of ordinary butter, and to that I'm going to add 60 grams of plain flour and mix that together on a fairly gentle heat because you don't want this to burn. It will thicken up quite quickly and form a roux, and you just keep this going and cook it out for a couple of minutes. You want to just take the raw flavour out of the flour. The roux is cooked out, and the next stage is to add some milk. The secret here is not to use cold milk, because if you have warmed the flour and butter up in the roux, there's no point in putting cold milk in because the sauce will go lumpy. This is thickening up already. Add more warmed milk. In this case, for the 60 grams of flour and 60 grams of butter, I'm using 600 mils of milk. Having made the bechamel or white sauce, what I'm going to do is take this on a little bit further. I've got some sliced cheddar cheese. You can grate it If you slice it fairly thinly, it'll cook down very quickly anyway. And for some extra flavour, I think a cheese sauce is always beautiful with some parmesan in it, especially in a pasta bake. Over here, I have cooked off a large pot of penne, just until it's al dente. I don't want to cook it too much. The slow cooker has been running for about 4 hours now, at medium, and I've got probably about 2 litres of a beautiful bolognese sauce. It really, the smell is superb, the colour is beautiful. I'm very, very happy with it. We have got the bolognese in the slow cooker, the penne, and then the bechamel that I've turned into a cheese sauce ready to go. I'm going to start by portioning the penne out across these dishes. Next, I'm going to add the bolognese to each of these. Each of these dishes will feed 2 people well. Serve with a salad and probably garlic bread. Almost finished. What I'm going to do is carefully ladle the cheese sauce over the top and make sure that it covers all of the pasta and the bolognese. As a final little touch, I know there's a cheese sauce there, but I think it's really lovely just to have a little bit of extra cheese so that when I bake these in the oven, you get a nice crisp cheese topping along with the cheese sauce. So we're going to have 1 of these for tea and 3 for the freezer. So it's worthwhile putting a little bit of time into cooking at this stage, because you reap the benefits then in the future when you need something to eat, you can't be bothered, you haven't got time, and you know you've got these beautiful pasta bakes in the freezer ready to go. And here we go. The pasta bake has been in the oven. Because it was warm, it was really just a matter of crisping the top up. And finish it off with a couple of garlic bread slices.